At the end of the President's Cup 2022, the U.S. team won for the 9th time. Fans and supporters never had much doubt about the outcome since the international team, led by Trevor Immelman, was weakened by players like Cameron Smith, who couldn't play because they were loyal to the LIV Golf circuit. Justin Thomas was watching as Siwoo Kim's loud celebration on the 15th hole quieted the crowd, which kind of got to JT. Kicking us off, Justin Thomas unimpressed with Siwoo Kim President's Cup shushing. At the 2017 President's Cup at the Liberty National, Siwoo Kim met American golf fans for the first time by telling them to be quiet. What's wrong? Kim's international team was getting beaten so badly that they had no chance of winning, which made Kim's shush both strange and brave. If anything, the people in the US thought it was a cute move by the enemy. It wasn't cute though, when Kim said shh again in his sign language at the 2022 President's Cup on Sunday at Quail Hollow. This time, Kim's team is still in the game. This week, Kim is playing against Justin Thomas, one of the best players on the US team. Justin Thomas said he was pretty pissed off at Siwoo Kim during their heated President's Cup singles match after the South Korean shushed the Quail Hollow crowd after a point-saving putt. Tensions were already high when the two-time PGA Championship winner gave a big fist bump as he saved par at the 15th hole. JT wasn't happy that the South Korean didn't give up a short putt a couple of holes before. Kim then made his putt to keep the match tied, then put his fingers to his lips to show how happy he was. Honestly, I was pretty mad at the time, Thomas said later. I think it gets you motivated and pumped up a little bit when you're in the moment and on the other side. Kim birdied the 16th hole in the first singles match to go 1-up. Thomas then made a 3 on the par 4 17th hole to tie it up again. The international player then birdied the last hole to win the point. Kim may have gotten the international team off to the best possible start by improving his record to a team best 3-1-0. Still, the American team won the trophy again, which Thomas didn't forget even though his record had been perfect up until that point. In other golfing news, takeaways from the 2022 President's Cup. First, these guys like each other. Everyone needs to be loved the way that JT loves Jordan, and the same goes for Jordan. There's no doubt that the international team faces problems that the American team doesn't. For example, they don't all speak the same language, they come from different cultures, and they don't know each other. Trevor Immelman, captain of the international team, wasn't too far off when he said that the US team was the best ever put together. 5 of the top 10 golfers in the official World Golf Ranking were on the 12-person US team. They were all in the top 25, and when US team captain Davis Love III pairs off Thomas and Spieth with Xander Schauffele and Patrick Cantlay every session, it's like having Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander in a 5-game series. Spieth and Thomas have been friends since they were kids, and they won all 4 of their foursomes and 4-ball games. Cantlay and Schauffele are friends. They are both from California, and last year they won the PGA Tour team event in New Orleans. In singles, the players went 3-1 as a group. On Friday, when it looked like the President's Cup was going to be another blowout, one of the most exciting things to see was how Spieth and Thomas fed off each other by fist bumping, chest bumping, and yelling at each other. This week, the 12 people who played for the US seemed to really like each other. There wasn't an elephant in the room because Bryson DeChambeau was still mad at Brooks Koepka or because Reed was upset that he had to play with Tiger Woods instead of Jordan Spieth. Next, Tom Kim is a superstar. The South Korean star's name is Joo-young Kim, but he likes to be called Tom, which is what his friends called him when he was young because he liked Thomas the Tank Engine. The 20-year-old has as much steam as his namesake right now, after winning his first PGA Tour event at the Wyndham Championship a month ago. Kim's professional debut in a team event was like a coming-out party. He was the youngest player on both teams, and only Ryo Ishikawa and Jordan Spieth were younger when they played in the President's Cup. This week, Kim lost 2 of his 3 matches, but his enthusiastic celebrations made him the heart of the international team and a crowd favorite at Quail Hollow Club. On Sunday, Kim showed up at the first tee wearing sunglasses and telling the crowd to cheer. He was a famous musician. Even though they had lost their first 2 matches, Kim and his partners gave the international team some hope on Saturday. Kim and KH Lee of South Korea beat world number 1 Scotty Scheffler and Sam Burns in the foursomes on Saturday morning. In a 4-ball match that afternoon, Kim and Siwoo Kim beat Patrick Cantlay and Xander Schauffele, who seemed unbeatable. Kim beat Cantlay and Schauffele by making an eagle on the par 4 11th hole, and then making a 10-foot birdie putt on the 18th. Third, Homa isn't bad either. It's hard to believe that Homa didn't have much faith in his game not too long ago. He was and still is one of the funniest professional golfers on Twitter, but he didn't have much to show for his work. At the end of the 2020 FedEx Cup season, he was ranked 70th, but Homa has won 4 times on tour since February of 2021. He won the Genesis Invitational in 2021, the Fortinet Championship, and the Wells Fargo Championship last season, and then he defended his Fortinet Championship title in Napa, California last week. He didn't get to Charlotte until early Monday morning for his President's Cup. Homa, who is 31 years old, gave the President's Cup a moment to remember on Friday. After 16 holes, Taylor Pendrith and Corey Connors of Canada tied their match with Billy Horschel. On the 17th hole, Homa made a birdie putt from 12 feet away to go 1-up. Then, after Pendrith made a crucial 15-foot putt for a birdie on the 18th hole, Homa made another 12-foot putt to win the match. He is only the 4th player to make his first President's Cup start and go 4-0 or better. The international team is getting closer. Even though the international team has lost 9 times in a row and 12 times in 14 President's Cups, Captain Trevor Immelman thinks his team is getting closer to winning. This week, the international team was a huge underdog, especially after Smith, the number 3 player in the world, Mark Leishman, Abraham Ancer, Louis Oosthuizen, and Joaquin Niemann all left for Live Golf. Thomas, Spieth, Burns, and Scheffler have been friends for a long time, and many of the U.S. players live close to each other in Florida and Texas. However, the players on the international team live all over the world, which makes their team different. Immelman says that his team has come a long way in dealing with the problems it faces. He says that Ernie Els started the change before the last President's Cup, which was held in Australia in 2019. Els came up with a shield that is on the players' uniforms, golf bags, and hats. This week, they sold things with a shield on them at Quail Hollow. Others have said that the President's Cup needs big changes, like adding women golfers or letting live golf players play. But Immelman thinks that his team will keep getting better. The head of the PGA Tour, Jay Moynihan, also thinks that the international team is going in the right direction. Finally, what about the 2023 Ryder Cup? If the Americans' 19-9 win over Europe at Whistling Straits in the 2021 Ryder Cup wasn't enough proof, the U.S. team's dominance at Quail Hollow was. It showed how good and deep this team is. The next big team event is the 2023 Ryder Cup, which will be held at the Marco Simone Golf Club near Rome, Italy, from September 29th to October 1st. As long as they're healthy, as many as 10 players could be back on the U.S. roster. Don't forget that the number 8 player in the world, Will Zalatoris, would have been on the President's Cup team if he hadn't hurt his back. Kevin Kistner and maybe Billy Horschel aren't likely to come back, but they could play their way back into contention for a spot on the team. The top players in Europe are pretty good. The winner of the U.S. Open, Matt Fitzpatrick, is strong, as are Victor Hovland of Norway and Shane Lowry of Ireland. Both Tyrrell Hatton and Tommy Fleetwood can play great golf for England. Thomas Pieters, Sepp Straka, and Seamus Powers are starting to show that they can play consistently well, and Nikolai and Rasmus Højgaard from Denmark are both young, but have a lot of talent. The American team will have to work hard to win the Ryder Cup away from home, which they haven't done since 1993. Well, that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Till next time, cheers.